Thank you so much for Vice to give a brief introduction about myself. And very nice to meet you, professors and students and teachers. Very glad to see you here actually. Yes, I was working in university as a faculty. That was before. That was from 2003 to 2008. So after that, I joined different companies. So when I get back to the campus today, I have very special feelings about my memory, especially about the beautiful campus and very dynamic faces from students. So anyway, so today what I want to share is something related to renewable, but it could be generalized to other infrastructure sector also. You see that in Bangladesh now we have 28 gigawatts of power generation capacities, but renewable energy ratio is only about 3% or a little bit plus. So compare with Cambodia, compare with Vietnam is much smaller, to be very frankly. So Vietnam, I thinking it is around 16%. So Cambodia is around 16%. So in terms of ready-made garments export countries, still Bangladesh have bigger space to go ahead. So that's why I want to share that how government and how private sector can promote more investment into renewable energy sector, including foreign company as the company what I was working for. So shortly, this company came to Bangladesh 30 years ago. Actually, it is our 30 years anniversary in Bangladesh. So far, we have complete 41 projects in different sectors, and still we have 18 projects ongoing. Basically, we cover three sectors. One is, as our company name indicates, power, and including renewable for sure. And the second sector is water resources related, water treatment, wastewater treatment, and also the river dredging work. You see the Pakma Bridge river training works was done by our company. The third sector is transportation infrastructure, like MRT 6, we do one package. That considerable for the highways and also the Shikalakasa Bridge. So this is what we have done. So in Bangladesh, actually, you may not know, a lot of Chinese contractor like us has been working for many years. So we have some statistics that you are deserved to know that in 2016, where Chinese President Mr. Xi Jinping visited Bangladesh, the second year, 2017, Bangladesh market for new contract volume ranks in number one in all Chinese company, because we have a lot of Chinese company working in different countries, but Bangladesh ranking at number 5 in 2017. In 2020, that is 2019 to 2020, this financial years, Bangladesh global number 1 in the new contract in the infrastructure sector. So this is a new contract signed. Another indicator is revenue. The revenue revenue ranking in 2017 is number 12 in the global market. But in 2020, it was ranking at number 7. Also 5 rankings higher. Why I'm sharing this one? Because a lot of people say that Bangladesh is a small territory country nation, but they didn't know that how large potential the country is in the infrastructure development. So why still the association where I was working for, Chinese Enterprises Association, we have around 270 members. So among these 270, we have 50% coming from infrastructure sector. Among these 50 companies members, we have global Fortune 500 company 22. So it is so fantastic. So infrastructure development in Bangladesh is very promising and have large and good potential in the future. So why Chinese company come for infrastructure sector? Because Chinese economy and Bangladesh economy share a lot of similarities. So when Chinese economy start to rising, we also do two things. One is export, another is infrastructure development. We all know that infrastructure development can reduce the social cost, especially the economic cost for the economy to develop. So that's why each every government puts infrastructure development as part of their priorities. So is Bangladesh. I didn't see any change, no matter government change, but anyway, the priority of infrastructure didn't change at all. And I'm thinking that even in the upcoming 10 to 15 years, this trend will not be changed because the employment generation effect from infrastructure is so huge. For example, PowerChina alone, we as a single alone company, in 2020, we have around 20,000 Bangladesh staff. At this moment, we have only around 3,000, so reduced dramatically. The reason is that in the last 3 years, COVID-19 elections and also change of government and a new election, new government. So that's why no big projects was being proposed to move forward to the government. So that's why there is a disruption of projects. Also, there is a significant reduce of employment. So we hope that with the new government come, with the stable economy, stable government, more projects will come so that we can do further contribution to the economy. So I'm not going to yes. So the topic I would like to share is a catalyst for successful investment and financing of renewable power projects in Bangladesh. What is government guarantee in infrastructure sector? So this is the first question we have. I use an example of power sector. You see that Ministry of Power, Energy and Mineral Resources, the only ministry to develop power projects. And the BBA and the PGCB are two executing agencies. Usually, Ministry and the PGCB will provide guarantee to the SPV. SPV means a special purpose vehicle, which is kind of a joint venture company. This joint venture company was established by the equity investor, maybe one, maybe two, or maybe more. So this joint venture company need a guarantee from the ministry that the power you generated, I will guarantee to buy. Who buy? The BPDB is the off-taker, is a power buyer. So there are two kind of guarantee for BPDB. BPDB use a power purchase agreement. That means for 20 years, for 25 years. As long as this joint venture company can generate power, BPDB is going to pay by the power purchase agreement. But in case if BPDB is in default financially to repay the loans, then the Ministry of Power will stand out, say, I will pay you on behalf of BPDB. So this is a guarantee. Why the guarantee is important? Without such guarantee, private investor will not easily come to make investment because what they concern is risk. What risk? The non-payment risk. Because once we have a joint venture here, our target is to produce power and sell power to the government and the government to pay back. If BPDB is in default, then
every structure, the components of every structure will be in loss. So that's why government support or guarantee is very important. So the government guarantee is a sovereign obligation under a binding or potentially binding written documents to protect the beneficiary from defined losses if specific condition occurs. That means, suppose BBDB now have some financial obligations, but if such obligation is too huge that BBDB themselves cannot sustain, then government guarantee will be immediately take effect. So type of government guarantee, there are basically two types. One is performance guarantee, another one is credit or financial guarantee. The difference of this one example. First, so BPDB will be the first guarantor. So because they are the counterparty of the agreement signing of SPV with SPV. So ministry's main obligation is that only if BPDB has some difficulties, ministry will stand out, say that I will force or I will help BBDB financially okay to pay you the loans, pay you the equity money. So this is a kind of so ministry will not easily come out and take out money from their pocket to pay, but they will force, they will help, they will support BBDB to fulfill their payment obligations. So this kind of is a performance guarantee. I will guarantee BBDB fulfill their performance. Another kind of guarantee is a credit or financial. Suppose government borrows some loan from World Bank, ADB, JCA, or even Chinese Exim Bank. So when they sign such loan agreement, government usually have to provide credit or financial guarantee. That is direct. When you cannot pay this loan, for example, Ministry of Finance cannot pay the loan, government as a sovereign nation has to pay, no matter by what kind of a means they have to pay. This is a credit and financial. So in Bangladesh, most of the guarantee is coming, especially for the investment, is use performance guarantee rather than direct financial guarantee. So when government guarantee is required, usually let's look at the first above part. So risk seldom require government guarantee. For example, the construction guarantee. Usually the constructor or the contractor have to take such risk because they have to finish on time with quality and with competitive price. So such risk usually can use commercial contract to cover the risk. The second one is source of input. For example, the coal-fired power plant or gas-fired power plant. So usually they will have coal supply agreement and gas supply agreement. This is a commercial piece that will cover all the risk. So the third one is operational risk. For example, the plant, either the gas-fired power plant or solar or wind power plant, we will have agreement with the operator. They will guarantee the quality of operation are there, and also the output guarantee is guaranteed by such commercial things. But there are some risks which cannot be covered by the commercial contract, which is the lower part. For example, the risk mitigated only by government guarantee. The first category is political and regulatory guarantee. Suppose we have small election this year, but in case if the election is not smoothly going on, the KOS comes, then this is called the political regulatory. Such risk cannot be covered by commercial contract. Only the government, sovereign government can resolve such matters. So the second one is demand risk. Suppose that now government have a new policy in the renewable energy called the MPP, Merchant Power Purchase Agreement. That means they encourage like in renewable the sector, there is a Hamid Group. Okay, they encourage Hamid Group directly buy power from the personal, by the private investors. In case Hamid Group has some problems, then the investor will accordingly be in trouble because it is related to close relations. For such kind of things, private sector cannot cover all the risk. Only government can cover such risk. So in this case, sovereign guarantee roughly. And foreign exchange risk, recently there are volatile between US dollar and Taka. So such kind of risk, for example, if US dollar the exchange rate for US dollar to Taka so dramatically, the investor have to be guaranteed by the government that I will guarantee certain percentage of range is available by you. But if beyond such kind of range, then government will take responsibility to pay. So the fourth one is payment risk of some national state-owned companies and all government. Suppose the city corporation have one agreement with foreign investor. So if a city corporation as a subnational entity have problems, then government, central government or sovereign government have to stand out to give guarantee. Otherwise, they themselves cannot alone bear such risk. So early termination payment risk, that means the project is in construction, but due to various reasons, force majeures, so it had to be terminated. So who will take over the terminated project? So only government have the responsibility to take such risk. Why only government? Because without government guarantee, then the private investor will not come easily to make such investment. So these are the cases, usually the categories of risk which only be covered by the sovereign guarantee. Specifically, there are a few risks. On the left column is kind of a risk. For the red color one is kind of a guarantee or measures. First one is depreciation of local currency. For example, Taka has been depreciated since 2020. Till now, it is around 45%. Such huge depreciation has to be covered by such kind of a government guarantee. Risk of income convertibility, for example, usually in Bangladesh market, we will be paid by Bangladesh Taka, but the denominated currency is US dollar. So such kind of when we get a lot of Taka, but we cannot change the Taka into US dollar, then we cannot pay the banks, we cannot bring the dividends to China. That is a risk. So the third one is risk of repatriation or transfer. The same. We earn the money, but the money cannot come back to the home country or the holding companies. So that is big. So how to? So government usually will guarantee two matters. One is access or remittance of foreign exchange. Central bank, Bangladesh bank will guarantee that as long as you get such Taka payment, I will guarantee you will have enough US dollar to get converted. And guarantee of foreign exchange rates, that means certain a range of volatile or change is available by the private sector, but not all. If beyond this range, then government will pay the extra. So this is a global standard or global practice for such renewable investment. So the second one is payment is delayed or poor credit stress. So such risk will be covered by the guarantee of SAE's payment obligations. This is a kind of a performance guarantee. Either in some countries it is ministerial power, in some other countries it's Ministry of Finance will take such obligation or performance guarantee. And the second measure is the guarantee of payment obligation of government, ministry or subnational government entities. So these are some measures which can be used to guarantee private investment. So the sectors usually need government guarantee. The first sector is the power and the energy sector. So usually we have to payment. Usually the payment guarantee if the utilities default in payment, that means payment guarantee is required. All take-or-pay agreement that as long as the plant is ready to produce power, then government are supposed to pay portion of the production. The third one is the transmission and the distribution work. PGCB is very important rules to make sure that the power generated from the power plant could be transmitted to the destinations. So in the power and energy sector, such guarantee is required. The second portion is the toll gate, urban transit or rail system. Now we have first elevated expressway, which was under construction. It is a kind of a toll gate. This one, government usually provides availability payment, a certain minimum level of usage. For example, now each day the minimum is around 70,000 cars passing the elevated expressway. Still have 30,000 less than the benchmark. So government in such case will pay us the VGF, viability gaping fund. So as long as the car number exceeds beyond 10,000, then government will not pay such kind of subsidies or guarantees. So the second one is the minimum level of revenue. So the car number is less, either government will give VGF or otherwise government will guarantee the minimum revenue. That or even no matter how many cars are there, but as long as our revenue cannot reach the benchmark, then government have to pay. Why government wants to pay? Because with such kind of facilities, government pressure, political pressure, and social operation cost will be reduced. So that's why government is willing to pay and have to pay. In different countries, the same practice. The third sector is ICT sector, and airports and seaports. The last one is power generation in liberalized market, because in the European countries, usually it is very liberalized. No need government guarantee because the market itself is good enough. There are a lot of financial instruments, so the private investor can utilize such private financial instrument to mitigate the risk. So no government guarantee is required. So the last three sectors usually no need government guarantee, but for the first one and two, government guarantee is quite needed. So coming back to our topic, now for renewable energy, there are some changes. Before, in the last 10 or 15 years, the coal-fired power plant or gas-fired power plant have a lot of increase in Bangladesh. The reason is that at that time, renewable energy development is not that popular in the global arena. But at this moment, renewable energy is quite popular. Today, I have some studies. In China, the renewable has already reached 36%, but Bangladesh is around 3%. So still is 12 times less than China. So we have huge demands for renewable, especially under the war between in the Middle East. So renewable energy is more urgent than ever before. So hopefully in the future, so with government guarantee, more private investors, especially the Chinese investor, will come. And I will participate in another forum held by CPD. So basically we think as a sharing, that Bangladesh may not only develop private investments in renewable energy, maybe we can have a synergy. For example, most of the solar panels and wind turbine now was manufactured in China. But why don't we invite them to come to Bangladesh? We not only to construct and build the renewable power, we can also invite them to have factories here. So our employment rate will be increased. Most importantly, Bangladesh could be the export hub for renewable equipments. So not only serve our own domestic needs, we can also export our surplus equipment to the Middle East countries or others. So that will be the future model which China used to take, but I think Bangladesh have huge potentials in this regard. So it is a little bit only with the infrastructure. I know that most of the students or professors are not the research in this area. So I just share some basic information and I hope it can help you, especially students. But anyway, thank you so much for giving me such opportunity.